Hi everyone. In this session, we will discuss about the next learning rule, that is nothing but Hebbian learning rule. So, this learning rule, the Hebbian learning rule was designed by a scientist by name Donald Hebb, H-E-B-B, Donald Hebb in 1949. That's why, so this learning rule was named after him. So, since his name was Donald Hebb, this was named as Hebbian learning rule. So, what this rule states? So, this states that, so if two neurons are activated simultaneously, then the strength of their connection will be increased. As you know, the place where two neurons are connected is called as synapse. What is synapse? Synapse is a place where two neurons are connected. So, what the rule says is, if those two neurons which are connected, if those two neurons are activated simultaneously, then the strength of the connection is increased. Means the synapse is strengthened. That's what the author is trying to tell. Suppose if the two neurons which are connected, if they are activated asynchronously, means if one is activated one time and the other one is activated at some other time, if they are activated asynchronously, then their strength is reduced. Okay, the strength of their connection is reduced or decreased. Okay, so similarly we can say that when an axon of a cell A is near enough to excite cell B and repeatedly or persistently takes part in fixing it, some growth process or metabolic changes takes place in one or both cells such that A's efficiency as one of the cells firing B is increased. So here also it is saying that, so when an axon of cell A, if it is near enough to excite cell B, okay, then automatically the cell A's efficiency will be more in firing B. Okay, so the Hebbian rule can be divided into two parts. So they were nothing but the first part. See, the statement is divided into two parts. The first part says that if two neurons on either side of synapse, we know synapse is a place where two neurons are connected. If those two neurons are activated simultaneously, then the strength of that synapse is increased. That's what part A says. Similarly, part B is nothing but if the two neurons are activated asynchronously, means if they both were not activated simultaneously. So, if they were activated asynchronously, then the synapse is weakened or eliminated or reduced. Okay. So, such synapse is called as Hebbian synapse. We call that synapse as Hebbian synapse. Okay. Hope you have understood, right? So, here there are four key mechanisms that are going to characterize the Hebbian synapse. They are nothing but time dependent, local mechanism, interactive mechanism, and last one is correlational mechanism. So first we will see what is time dependent. So the time dependent mechanism is nothing but what it says is the modifications in a Hebbian synapse. What are the modifications we are going to have in Hebbian synapse? Those modifications, they are going to depend on the exact time of occurrences of the presynaptic and postsynaptic signals. Okay, so the time dependent is nothing but, so what are the modifications we are going to do in Hebbian synapse? They are going to depend on the exact time of occurrence of the presynaptic and postsynaptic signals. That is regarding the time dependent mechanism. The next one is local mechanism. So the locally available information is used by Hebbian synapse to produce a local synaptic modification which is input specific. Okay, so that is regarding the local mechanism. Then the third one is interactive mechanism. The name itself, it is very clear that interactive mechanism is nothing but the occurrence of any change in Hebbian synapse purely depends on signals on both sides of the synapse. Okay. So here it's a true interaction between presynaptic and postsynaptic signals. Okay, so here it is not going to make a prediction from either one of these two activities. Okay, it is going to depend on signals on both sides of the synapse. Okay, then the fourth one is correlational mechanism. Okay, correlational mechanism. So here the interpretation regarding the correlation mechanism is that the condition for a change in synaptic efficiency, is the conjunction of presynaptic and postsynaptic signals. Okay, that is regarding the correlational mechanism. Okay, so these are regarding the four key mechanisms of Hebbian synapse. Okay, so next, see, the simplest form of Hebbian learning is described as delta W equal to xi into y. So here delta W, what is delta W? Delta W is nothing but change in weight. So xi is the input, y is the output. So here it is very clear that the change in weight is purely depending upon the input and output. See, so here the author is telling that the Hebbian learning rule represents purely feed forward unsupervised learning. You know what is feed forward neural network? Feed forward neural network is nothing but which is moving in the forward direction or which is moving from left to right. Okay, unsupervised learning also you know. So there is no output. Suppose if you give there are no labels here. If you give x1, we will get y1, x2, y2. Like that, there are no labels. If you have labels, no, that comes under supervised learning. So what the author is telling is, this Hebbian learning rule represents purely feed forward unsupervised learning. And it also states that if cross product of input and output, see, xi is the input, y is the output. If the cross product of input and output is positive, then it results in increase of weight. See, if xi, yi, we have already discussed delta W, change in weight, equal to xi into y. So if the cross product of input, that is xi, and output y is positive, then it results in increase of weights. Otherwise, the weight decreases. Okay. So this is all about Hebbian learning rule. Hope you have understood. Okay. Thank you.